Welcome to Fireside Gaming. I'm Billum, and I'm doing another retro game collecting video. It's been a little bit since I've done one, a couple months or so. I did that Armored Core one, but that was for like one game, so I didn't know if I was necessarily counting that. But either way, I've bought some games over the last 2 or 3 months, however long it's been since I last did one of these kind of videos, and I thought I'd show them off and just show you guys the additions to the collection. And as always, one of the things I like doing this for is if you ever watch this and you see a game that you're maybe interested in seeing a review for, whether it be that you're interested in the game and you want to hear my take on it, or just that you have nostalgia for the game and you want to see somebody talk about it, I do like getting those kind of comments. They give me an idea of content for the channel. Not that I don't have plenty of my own nostalgia and memories and stuff like that, but sometimes I'd like to know what you guys played growing up, and a lot of these games are new to me. So let's go ahead and jump into that with Battle Engine Aquila. Now, this isn't one I have ever played. I caught an interest in it when I started collecting Xbox games earlier this year, specifically because it's a mech game, and I do love me some giant robots, but it's a little bit more than just a mech game, because this mech, I assume Battle Engine Aquila, can't get that up, this Battle Engine Aquila mech, I assume that's what the mech's called, I don't actually know, but that doesn't help. It's actually not just a mech, it's a jet. And so, like, the mechanic of this game is that you can be fighting in, like, essentially a tank form, and then you can take off and take to the skies as a jet form, and you can just do that at the press of a button to switch between the two styles of gameplay. And that sounds incredibly interesting to me. It makes me think of Drakengard a little bit, because it had that whole thing about fighting on the ground, and then you can just summon your dragon in wherever and go to town. And that seems like fun to me, so I was like, no, I'm definitely going to pick this up, and happened to see a copy at one of my local stores that I'd never seen it before there, and I was like, oh, we should probably pick that up before it goes missing. Actually, I think it was the wife that spurred me on to grab it before, because we'd never seen a copy before. But yeah. Let's see here. Aha! Next we have Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, and I'll go ahead and just also slide in Star Wars Jedi Outcast, Jedi Knight 2. Sorry, my light's kinda putting a glare on there having two games, and I even turned the brightness down for this, but either way, I've never played either of these. I remember seeing a fellow Boy Scout back whenever I was a kid get one of these games for his birthday, and I remember watching him play it. I thought it looked cool, but I've never actually gotten a chance to play these. I think they got re-released recently on Switch or something like that, but I like my games physical. So, seeing as they had Xbox releases, and oops, bumped my arm there, and these were in good shape. I mean, this one even still has the old promo card. We went ahead and picked them up because they could be a lot of fun, and I also particularly really like this era of Star Wars, this Clone Wars type era, where it's I don't know, there's more Jedi, there's a lot of lore to play with. I was a kid when Clone Wars stuff was coming out, like the prequel movies. So, like, Star Wars fans ate well during that period of time with the Battlefront games and Republic Commando and just Starfighter. Just so many good games came out. Feels like it was hard to play them all, especially on, like, you know, a weekly allowance type thing to get all these games and play them. And so I'm excited to get to do that, because this is an era of the Star Wars universe that I really enjoy, and I have a lot of nostalgia for. I know the prequel era isn't always looked on the best, especially the movies specifically, but I'm actually pretty fond of them, and this is just a part of Star Wars that I particularly like, partially because of nostalgia and growing up with it, and I never got to experience these games when they first came out, so I'm excited to get to do that eventually. Okay, so this one is kind of retro, kind of not, depending on how you look at it. 360 and PS3 have actually hit that age where they are largely considered retro now, but like they're new retro, you know? And there's like there's kind of like a different feeling between the PS2 the PS2 Xbox and GameCube generation to the Wii 360 PS3 generation, but technically, if we go by dates, if we go by my standard, which is 2 console generations, you know, how do I explain this? I've got a video on it, I'm just going to link it up there, but basically, I believe that this console generation has hit retro. Doesn't mean I have a lot of collecting to do from it just because I was actively buying games during this time, but Bionic Commando is here. This is one that I thought, you know, I'd like to play this. It always looked fun. I know that it caught flack for not being like as good as everybody could hope it would be, but I'm also of the firm opinion that like, and you might have noticed this if you watched any of my reviews, the way I score games, a lot of people write off games that come in at 5s or 6s, but I don't necessarily think that's fair, because I think some of those games can actually be very fun despite their low scores. And this is one that I know people gave a lot of flack whenever it came out, and I was like, you know, I should actually check it out and form my own opinion on it. And kind of to follow up to that, I actually picked up this Capcom Classics collection for PS2, 22 arcade classics, one of them being the original Bionic Commando. I don't know if it's shown on the back here, but this has a bunch of the 1943 games. I think there's like 3 of them. There's a game list in here. Hold on, let's see if we can find that. 1942, 1943, 1943 Kai, Bionic Commando. Okay, so there we go, the original. And then Commando, which I think this game like kind of pseudo-retcons Commando and Bionic Commando to be part of the same universe. Or maybe Bionic Commando does that? I don't know. I'm not overly familiar with the series. We've also got X's, my son crying in the background if you heard him. He's eating dinner right now. He's a little fussy, it sounds. Final Fight, Forgotten Worlds, Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts, Gunsmoke, Legendary Wings, Mercs, Pirate Ship, Higemaru, I think I said that right, Section Z, Sun, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, or Champion Edition, Hyper Fighting, and Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Oh, and then we've got Trojan and Vulgus. I like these kind of collections because you really get a lot of bang for your buck with them. It's not just, here's one game, here's a bunch of games you can play. And I know sometimes the emulation isn't perfect on these when they're ported to other consoles like this. I don't know the case for this one, but either way, I always like these little bundles because it's a cheap and easy way to have a nice retro game collection to sit down and play. And next is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. I've been playing through the Tony Hawk's games, admittingly slowly, but I did just recently review Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 for the PS1, and I had a lot of fun with it. You can check out that review. I'll do one of those little, like, corner card things. But, yeah, I was like, well, I've reviewed 2. I should probably look at picking up 3. So, now I have it. I've never played 3. I've never played 4. I came back into the Tony Hawk series after 1 with Underground, so, like, major changes. So I've been really interested to see how the series, grows and develops and new mechanics get added and stuff like that, actually playing them in sequential release order. But I haven't been showing the disc. It doesn't feel necessary. Know that whenever I buy games, I'm not going to buy busted discs. That just wouldn't make sense. I always check the qualities of them. So I just didn't really feel like that was something I needed to show off all the time. Next up we have Eve of Extinction. So, This is an interesting one because everything I've ever heard about this game is that it has really good gameplay, but that it suffers everywhere else. I have never played this game. I have seen copies of this game for several years now, and every time I see it, there's that thing in the back of my brain that just says, like, hey, this game's not very good. Stop picking it up. And then the other part of my brain is always like, I wonder if this is any good. And then I pick up the case and look at it, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's this game that's supposedly, like, not very good, but might have fun combat? I don't know. But basically, I've not been picking it up for years now. And I finally I bit the bullet and I said, screw it. I'm going to pick it up, I'm going to buy it, I'm going to play it, I'm going to review it. If it's not good, it's not good. Fine. But there's just part of me that just really wants to experience it for myself. The combat, from what little bit I saw of it, maybe looked a little stiff. I don't know. But you know what? You know what's another game that's got incredibly stiff combat and maybe isn't all that good, but I personally, really enjoy? Phantasy Star Universe. The game it's okay. I don't think it's a bad game. I think it's a little bit stale and repetitive, and yet for some reason, I can sit down and play that game and just love the crap out of it. So who knows, maybe this will hit that same kind of feeling, where maybe it won't be great, but I'll enjoy it. And at the end of the day, screw review scores, that's what matters. We're sticking with PS2 for this next one. This is Sylphid. Now, Sylphid is a top-down shooter, top-down scrolling shooter. Shump, I don't know how you want to call this. I don't know the specific differences there. But this, besides having a very, very shiny case, is it a sequel or a remake of another game from Game Arts Treasure? Either way, I've played Game Arts games in the past. They did Grandia and stuff like that. I'm trying to think. It was brought over by Working Designs, who there's a bit of a love-hate relationship there, because I really have to respect the fact that they brought a lot of games that we probably wouldn't have gotten otherwise over to the US. But man, you want to talk about filling their localizations with pop culture references and stuff like that. That's Working Designs. So it's kind of this position where they're a dead company, don't speak ill of the dead, but at the same time remember that some of their localizations, and I think you have to call them localizations, can be very hit or miss. But I'm interested to check this one out. This one's actually been sitting in my local store for years, and I've been eyeballing it over and over again and just never picking it up. And then I finally said, no, I want to check this out. And if there is one thing I'll give Working Designs credit for, they always had really nice releases, like this shiny case and everything. And then this manual, if you'll see this, is very, very crazy awesome looking. And it's also really high quality. I can't quite, I don't know how I can show you guys, but this paper board, whatever you want to call it, that it's on, is really thick and really nice. And there's obviously, they put a lot of care into their releases and everything. They even include, translation notes here in the back. All of their releases just about have these kind of things where they talk about their process and going through the game, and they really give a nice history of it. So like I said, I might not always be a fan of some of the liberties they took with scripts for games, but I can still definitely see that their publishing and their localizations did come from a place of love. So that's why I said it's kind of a love-hate relationship with them. Okay, so we're done with PS2 at that point, which means we're moving on to GameCube. And this one's going to seem a little weird because it's Resident Evil 4, which, how do you not have a copy of Resident Evil 4 already? I do. I have the Wii version. I picked up the GameCube version because this is what I originally played on back in the day. I borrowed it from a friend. I never had it myself, but I borrowed it from friends and would play it. I have played through this game maybe, not exaggerating, 20 times. I really love me some Resident Evil 4. And my Wii is... It's one of the launch models where it's got that graphics card problem where it's starting to die. I'm actually thinking about just buying a whole new motherboard and replacing it as a small project. I don't think that's something I'd show on the channel, but who knows? Maybe there's demand for that kind of stuff. But either way, I wanted to be able to play this, so I was like, you know what? I want to play it. I want to play it with the GameCube controller. And while I can play my Wii version on my Wii U, I have to use a classic controller or something like that, which just doesn't feel as good to me. So I was like, alright, I'm just going to go ahead and buy this for GameCube. It's the version I prefer. My gosh, child. I don't know if you guys can hear that, sorry. But it's the version I prefer. It's the version I know. Obviously, you miss out on some of the extra Ada stuff, but yet again, to be clear, I have the Wii version, so I can always access and play any of that content whenever I want, and I've played through the Wii version. I don't know if anybody else always thought it was crazy with having 2 GameCube discs. I was always kind of like, what? Like, I remember when Tales of Symphonia was like that as well, and it was just kind of like, wait, 2 discs? And then 1080 had 2 discs, but one of them was a mini DVD, and you couldn't put it in the GameCube and watch it. You had to put it in a DVD player and watch it. But that's neither here nor there, sorry. That was a little rambly. And this is our final game. It is Star Fox Assault. Yeah, I didn't play any of the GameCube Star Fox games. I didn't even take the time to clean this one up of stickers, actually. The other ones I had, but this was a more recent purchase, so I hadn't cleaned it up yet. Plus, I was seeing this old, I'm not sure if that's GameStop or EB Games sticker, and I was like, do I want to take that off, or do I want to leave that on as kind of like a history nostalgia thing? Either way, I wanted to play this because I never got to, and I know it's a more traditional Star Fox style game. I have played through, Star Fox 2, Star Fox 64, Zero Mission. I have a copy of Command I've never played, and I've never played this one, and I don't know as if I ever care to play Adventures, but I've been wanting to give the Star Fox series just more attention. I was thinking about running through them on the channel eventually down the line, so there might be interest in that. But this is the last game I picked up. Oh, I should open it. Gosh, I almost forgot. Unfortunately, this one is not complete. There is no booklet. But if you watched my Southeast Game Exchange collection video, those are the kind of things that you can find at cons. You can go to cons, and a lot of times you'll find people selling booklets or cases or spare anything like that. We found a copy of the case and booklet for one of the Pokemon Black games. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2, but it was one the wife had been looking for because she had the game, but she didn't have, I think it was the booklet specifically. So that just means that added to our list of things to look for at conventions is booklets, and I really wish that retro game stores would maybe start actually carrying spare, loose extra booklets as well, but it seems like most of them don't really care to do that, and I get it. It's not, a big mover, but it would be nice. Either way, that's all I have for you guys this time. Guys and gals, I guess, I should say that. I know there's probably some women that watch. YouTube tells me it's 100% men, and that, none of you are under the age of 24 or over the age of 33, because YouTube shows me all sorts of weird analytics like that, and I think that's kind of odd, but I guess it does help me get to know my audience. But either way, thank you for watching. I hope you all have a good day, a good weekend if I post this on a Friday. I usually do. But either way, until next time, take it easy.